My cat just freaked out. Hello beautiful humans, welcome to my channel. If you don't know who I am Katie Bell. I model professionally and I decided that, hey, I'm gonna make videos to document my crazy life and what it is like to live in my world. And today I decided to start with my first pageant. Pageants were actually how I got into modeling in the first place. But this is a story of my first pageant, or really most pageants, from the perspective of somebody who was once in them. A lot of people believe that pageant people are really pretentious, really stuck up, really pretty and full of themselves. That is not necessarily true. Now, I can't speak for everyone because I've heard secondhand that there are a lot of girls in the pageant industry who are just crazy. Fortunately for me though, I've actually been able to only meet some pretty amazing people. And I say only meet some because that is the exception of a few handfuls. And unfortunately, one of those people was in my first pageant. I got the idea to do a pageant because my brother's girlfriend, who'd been in my life for a really long time, does pageants. And I was talking to her and she was like, oh yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. And honestly, I wanted to be on stage. I wanted to speak and I wanted to participate in something related to the fashion industry since I was very young. But my mom made me wait until I was older. That was okay with me. But when I turned 15, I was finally able to do my very first pageant. So I went into this feeling really nervous, really skeptical, and just freaking out. And there was this one girl in my first pageant. We'll call her Paige. This girl, Paige, decided to best me at everything. Now, I understand having a completely competitive personality. That's me. I'm competitive. I will beat you. There's so many card games that I literally cannot play because I get so upset. And people know that if I'm playing a game with them, I win. And this girl was really competitive. And like I said, I, to some degree, understand that. But she was competitive to a weird point. This girl would be like, oh yeah, I'm doing my hair this way. And she's like, oh yeah, mine's gonna be better. I'm like, okay, that's really rude. It escalated. Oh my gosh, I love your shoes. And then she would stand off to the side and just kind of be like, oh, mine are better. You know, and every time I'd get a compliment, she would stand there and be like, yeah, but I'm better. She didn't know when to stop. I would say things like, oh my gosh, I'm so awkward. And she's like, I'm more awkward. I'm like, yeah, you are. You are more awkward. That is true. Or she'd be like, I'm actually more clumsy than you. So, I mean, I fall down all the time. And to some degree, I'm like, okay, now she's trying to be relatable. But it was always, I'm more. It drove me insane. Now, as I got older, I decided I didn't care anymore, and I actually love her now. She's really cool. So, but for that one time when I was competing, and I was very, very competitive, and she was very, very competitive, it did not mix well. That is really the only bad experience I had in that pageant. There was one girl who was going for Miss Congeniality. Unfortunately, she made everyone know she was going for Miss Congeniality. And it wasn't that she was a bad person, but it was that, it was kind of like, I'm scared to not vote for you. I was really nervous going into this pageant. I have really bad social anxiety. People talk to me, I'm like, Or at the grocery store, I go in, the checkout lady's like, hey, how's your day? This looks good. I'm like, yeah, please let me pay. It was worse, believe it or not, when I was younger. Any group setting, I would just kind of freeze. That being known, I knew I was going to have to talk to people. They basically put you in a room with a lot of girls and you stay there for 3 days. You get really close with the girls you compete with. And above all else, you are going to have to speak to a judge. They will interview you and they will literally judge you. That was what was hardest for me, to know that I was going into this being legitimately judged by people. They were actually giving me a score based on my personality, and as far as looks go, they were comparing me to all these girls I was supposed to be hanging out with for the next 3 days. So every time I look at them, I'm be like, is your personality better than mine? Are you prettier than me? And I was constantly comparing myself to judge my competition because I'm competitive, and it was just this really big thing. And so needless to say, going into interview, I was stiff as a board, and they'd be like, okay, what's your favorite color? And I'd be like, blue. And it was so awkward. I mean, everybody said you need to loosen up, but I just could not. It was ridiculous. Honestly, I should not have done that. But I was so scared. They just wanted to see how well I could speak my mind. Unfortunately, not well at the time. I'd been practicing interview for months leading up to this, but it didn't show. That wasn't the only interview. Gosh, I wish it was, but it wasn't. After we had the one-on-one with the judges interview where they just pelted you with questions, I got to go on stage and have a on-stage introduction. So I had to stand up there, and they would usually ask you an on-stage question. I don't remember mine. Once they asked me, what have you learned through working through your platform? Because when you go into a pageant, you need a platform, a organization that you can speak on their behalf and that they can donate money to if you win. Mine was foster care and adoption. Mine was also abuse prevention. I've been working with the Child Abuse Prevention Council, and through that I've gotten to know a lot about my state. I was on stage in front of all of my friends and family. There was a lot of people, and guess what? A judge literally judging you and comparing your answers to other people. It was so stressful. So I was freaking out and probably tanked that too. My friend who brought me into pageants, she tutored me in interview. Unfortunately, I probably did not do her work justice. Sold me her dress to wear for evening gown. It was a bright green ball gown. Oh, it was huge, it was very green, it was awful. And I wore like 6-inch heels, and I didn't fall. Because for weeks beforehand, as well as practicing for an interview, I was practicing not biting it in heels because I was 15 and never wore heels before in my life. I did okay, I didn't fall. I did not win this pageant. I did, however, win Best Dress. I don't know if it was the loud color or if I remember it worse than it actually was, because the judges seemed to think of all the dresses, mine was their favorite. And so I was really honored for that. I also won first runner-up. I won second place. I'm competitive, and I say to my dad, please, can I have a couple $1,000s and go to LA, please? And he said yes. He didn't even ask questions. He was just like, oh, okay, go ahead. And so I went on to my next pageant, which I won, yay! And I was Miss Teen All-American for a year. But though it was awesome for me to go on and win, I did lose interest in pageantry. And this is where I'm at now in my life, begging my dad for a cat, fixing airplanes, and modeling, and also making videos. Other girls who came out of that pageant did amazing things, and honestly I'm so proud to be able to say that I knew them from way back when. One of them, he released her very first single. She wrote the song herself and sang it, and it's amazing. Another one of the girls just became a model for Sherry Hill. She's in New York right now, walking in New York Fashion Week. I think that is amazing. Another girl who I love to call my friend has just been in a music video. I don't know if it's her first one, but she was a lead in it, and it's so cool. My brother's girlfriend, who's been coaching me through pageants this whole time, the beautiful Mackenzie, has become our current Miss California. So, yay! I don't know, I'm so excited for her. I'm still not over it. So that is all. Make sure that if you like this video, then you should subscribe to me. Also leave a thumbs up and a comment. And if you don't know why I love comments so much, then go watch the outro for the last video. See you next time, hopefully Sunday. We'll see if I can get things done by then.